man who's not intimidated by anything.
Life is all about facing new challenges.
Yes.
If you look at it that way, okay, I'll make a few mistakes initially, I'll learn, and then it happens. So action by the troops can only take place if the dissemination is timely and very accurate.
Yes.
That's where I focused on. And that's where I got my success. As you know, the army network itself is completely
Separate from the
secure,
civilian network. Yes.
A lot of things the families don't know or they're not supposed to know. And they always have a fear. For Indian R&D, of course, DRDO was there, the ordnance factories were there. They could never produce high-tech, high-quality items. I mean, items as simple as your uniforms or your kits that the Jawans required. They were also not being produced of that quality. Because earlier we were dependent on one power, right? Whether it is Russia or USSR earlier. Okay, वो दे रहे हैं, हम ले रहे हैं, उसको इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं. Like China is not going to be happy with our progress. US also will be very,
try to slow it down.
Everybody will try to slow you down. And of course, Pakistan was always inimical to our progress. A lot has happened in the drone sector. As you see, there are, I think, more than 110 startups today. Cyber war is not fought against the defense forces. It is fought against a nation. They will try and attack your son. Artificial intelligence now is being employed in every field, including cybersecurity. AI will get into another level. Space technology, space warfare is going to come up in a big way. So 21st century is about knowledge and innovation. Atmanirbharta and Make in India is the
key to it,
For an army officer, his partner, his wife, or spouse, I would say, because there are a lot of ladies also, is an important facet. It's a great support system. And I salute all the families, army wives. I mean, the whole nation should salute.
Yes.
Because their role is at the background, behind the curtain, but as important as the soldier in the front.
Welcome to a special Independence Day episode of Devakey Diaries, where we have the honor to interview a leader who has served our nation with purpose and pride. Our guest today is Brigadier Abhay Bhat, a decorated officer from the Indian Army's Corps of Signals with over 3 decades of service in critical defense operations, intelligence and communications. He has been awarded the Chief of Army Staff Commendation and has held prestigious roles including at the Ministry of Defense. Post-retirement, Brigadier Bhat continued his service to the nation as the Director of Army Institute of Technology, Pune, where he transformed the institution into a hub of excellence for the children of our armed forces. In this episode, we speak about leadership under pressure, building future-ready institutions, and the deeper meaning of the word service in today's India. Welcome to Devakey Diaries, sir.
Thank you for inviting me. All the best.
Thank you. Sir, your journey has been very multifaceted and inspiring. You've started from the battlefields to the classrooms. And through this journey, what we understand is you've gone from the armed forces to leadership in education. How do you think, you transitioned from that military life to a life with young students and a completely civilian approach?
Okay, thank you for this question. Very interesting question. You see, when I served the army, I served for about 34 years. In the later phase of my service, I got an opportunity to serve in the military training establishments, especially an establishment called Military College of Telecommunication Engineering, where I was an instructor. I was the head of department there. And there again, I used to prepare the army students to become engineers, or the army engineers.
Okay.
So there, I got exposed to the way you have to train them, you have to conduct classes, how to maintain the syllabi, the sanctity of the syllabi, how to design the syllabi, and found that job very interesting, and I was quite effective in doing that. So at some stage, when I was nearing retirement, I was always thinking to, divert into the field of education. And I got an opportunity that the Institute, Army Institute of Technology, the Institute of Army itself, it's run by the Army Welfare Education Society. They were looking for a retired brigadier as a director, as the previous one was about to retire. and I applied for it, got selected. My experience in MCT came very handy, and that's how I jumped into it. It was probably a natural calling,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed my 8 years there
Amazing.
in the IIT also.
Yes. Sir, you've led several critical defense communicatives and also in counter-insurgency zones. How did these experiences teach you what kind of decisions are made in situations of extreme pressure and high stakes situation?
Okay, so you take any army officer.
Hmm.
His journey is from as a young officer to wherever, whichever position of importance and command the officer reaches. We have to go through a lot of experiences as young officers, and we are given commands of small segments, sections, companies, platoons, and put through exercises, live experiences, and also along with that there is a very systematic training that takes place in the armed forces.
Okay.
It's not only that once we have initial training in the NDA or IME and thereafter we are thrown open. Every stage we have to undertake some training, undergo courses to be able to undertake the responsibilities of a higher role. Say for example, if you are a company commander, you will undertake a training to become a commanding officer.
Okay.
And then only you are made a commanding officer. So that training plus the live experience in variety of situations in different terrains prepares you for life, as they say in the army.
Right.
And decision making, whether under pressure or not, is about churning those experiences and taking the gist of it. So it happens organically.
Right.
There are pressure situations even during peacetime, even when you're not necessarily in a combat zone or a counter-insurgency zone, and vice versa also. Only thing is, in the army, the decision making differs from that in the civilian, that many times such decisions have direct relation to lives of people.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Of your command,
Yes.
of the people under you.
Yes.
So you have to be prepared for that. But as I said, because of training and variety of exposure that we get over the service, your mind gets trained. And as such, you have been selected because you have some leadership qualities and
Yes.
decision making qualities. So you apply those experiences as per your skills and you come to the decision. In any case, decision making, sometimes you go wrong also.
Yes.
But you have to take everything in the stride. And that's how I learnt in this whatever experiences I've had in these various situations.
I think, sir, in Devakey Diaries, when we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and leaders as well, this is the one thing I think our audience can also take from you, that it's okay when a decision goes wrong, but you have to take full ownership of it.
Correct. So decisions will go wrong at the highest level also. I mean, you can't say that every decision which our Prime Minister or any head of the government has taken will be right. They can go wrong.
Yes.
Sometimes you cannot foresee the implications of a decision. But what is important, how is your process of decision making.
Right.
So the process of decision making is you have to sit down if you have to take a decision, collect your experiences. That comes naturally once, get the right inputs before you take a decision. You have to have some expertise in that particular field. If you don't have, you consult an expert.
Right.
And then, most important, use your sixth sense at that time of making a decision.
Yes.
And it helps. The sixth sense is also, again, it doesn't come just out of the blue. It's again,
you're sharpening that intuition.
Yeah, exactly. The intuition comes through the experiences only. So that's how you reach the right decision. Right or wrong, the history will tell.
Yes. Sir, through your career in the armed forces, you started out in leadership roles in the technical department with the Indian Army's Corps of Signals, right? Then over the years, you've also taken on roles in the administration and in the HR departments of the Indian Armed Forces. So these are very diverse roles to begin with, and you've managed to do them all. So what was your experience and what were your learnings in that journey?
So, this is true with most of the army personnel. Army personnel at the end of 20-30 years of service become jack of all trades. And that's because, the policy of putting the young officers as they grow in their service through various experiences, remains in the armed forces. It's a very important aspect, because when you are having a team, and a team has to operate in an environment, hostile environment, whether you call it operations, you call it in battleground or in war, you have to be aware of all the aspects, not only technical, operational, administration, and even the human resource management. You have to be very empathetic about that. Then only you can lead a team which has to be effective. So we have put through this experience. I was very fortunate again to get a good diverse experience in various fields. Like there was a time when I was implementing operational IT networks in northeastern states.
Okay.
So that was time when there was a big transformation taking place in Indian Army, and we were setting up computer centers at various divisional and corps headquarters. So getting the hardware, getting it installed, and so that was one role. There was a time when I was during operational Parakram, I was a commanding officer of a operational unit, signals unit, which was the strike corps unit, and we were supposed to be prepared for an offensive.
Okay.
So that was a completely different role, and it had its own challenges. And as a commanding officer, you are responsible for whatever happens in that role, and very, very big responsibility you have had. At the same time, I had to prepare the men and their families for impending operation, for impending war. So that required a lot of motivation, a lot of administrative aspects of it. Then the role of HR, that was in MS branch, I was posted for about 2.5 years. So I was handling the postings and career management of officers of Corps of Signals. As you know, in Army, all of us had to move every 2-3 years. You are posted to a different place, and there are some policies, because you have to be fair to everybody. Because after all, putting somebody continuously in field is unfair, because then somebody will be in peace stations for that much duration. And also at the same time, you have to provide the wide variety of experience of terrains and positions to the officers. So I was in charge of that management. So effectively, it was a career management for the young majors and lieutenant colonels at that time.
Yes.
So that was a very great experience, because it was again a high pressure job. You had a lot of requests. After all, people have families. They have their own emergencies, and you had to manage their careers at the same time. And more importantly, you had to manage the effectiveness of particular units also, who are especially the units which are on the border, which are in the operational areas.
Right.
So that experience also was an experience where decision making was involved, empathy was involved. Sometimes you have to be harsh also. Sometimes something you do is for a good of a person, but he or she doesn't understand at that time. So I remember there was an incident when an officer, a good friend of mine, we had served together earlier, wanted to get posted to a peace station to handle some emergencies at home. I knew his family, but being in this particular appointment, I had to be impersonal,
unbiased
and impersonal. So I did not accept his plea, his application, and posted him to a little difficult area. At that time, he was very upset with me, and said, no, you didn't help me. But later on, as we grew in service, 10 years later, he realized that that particular posting was a trigger for a very good service thereafter. So he got his promotions, he got very good postings thereafter, only based on that particular appointment. So later on, he started thanking me, yes, I was very upset with you. So these experiences teach you that if you do your job with commitment, with this thing, you can do any kind of job. I was also looking after the administration of the MCT I had mentioned earlier, where I was also head of department later. But earlier I was looking after the administration part of it. Again, a very unique experience. Because to provide an administration to a college, you have to get involved in every small thing, whether it is creation of infrastructure, maintenance of that infrastructure, provision of mobility to the students, provision of resources, looking after guests, looking after, they are all hostels after all. Faculty, everything. So even the salaries and all the things. So that also helped me later when I became the director. That experience also carried me through. So you get such nice variety of experience. So when you go reach in higher levels of command, you have to have this all-round experience, and that helped me.
I think probably what I draw from you, sir, is that you're a man who's not intimidated by anything. The amount of diversity in your experience is only possible when you are also up for the challenge every
I'm
single
smiling
time.
now. That's why you're thinking I'm not intimidated. But whenever first time you try to do such a thing, like when I was posted to MCT as the administration in charge, I was always thinking I never done such a job, and I was always in technical field. So how would I do it? But then, life is all about facing new challenges.
Yes.
If you look at it that way, okay, I'll make a few mistakes initially, I'll learn, and then it happens. So that's how I think everybody should look at challenges and look at. So never think that this job is not for me. There may be something for you also. There may be something which will help you in the other jobs.
In your
also.
next jobs, yeah. Sir, you've received the Chief of Army Staff Commendation for Signal Intelligence. Could you share a little bit about that experience and what went on for you to reach that level?
So this was on my promotion to brigadier. This was my first appointment as a brigadier, and it was a very, very unique post. This was in Northern Command, that is entire J&K area, and again something which always happens with many of us, that I had never worked in the field of signal intelligence or similar any fields. So this was a challenge again, a new challenge for me, and I knew the tenure was going to be very short, less than 2 years. So the moment I took over the reins of this thing, I realized that I had 5 units under me who were specialized units for signal intelligence. So this is again one of the roles of Corps of Signals. But I was mostly in either operational communications or into IT networks, never into the technical intelligence field. So technical intelligence has 2 parts. One is technical, of course, and the second is intelligence. So you have to have a knowledge and expertise in both these fields. And being the head of that organization in that geographical area, I had to learn very fast. I had to understand the terrain. Of course, I had served earlier in J&K, but that was only small part of J&K, because at that time I was a young major when I served there. Then you had to understand the dynamics, because the role of this particular appointment was not only internal counter-insurgency operations in J&K, but also looking at the border, what is happening across, and being in intelligence. So you had to have a much wider canvas of the geopolitics also. You have to learn about that. You have to read about a lot. You had to go to the various agencies to understand. Then you had to interact with other intelligence agencies, maybe physical intelligence, military intelligence, and get interaction, have interaction with them, get integrated with their setups also. And all that, I had to do this in a very short period of time, because the operations were continuously ongoing. That was also period 2010-11, when the CIA operations were happening. I will not say that was a peak, but that was still at a very good pace they were happening. There were a lot of disturbances taking place in J&K. The stone pelting movements had started. And so I was in charge of the signal intelligence apparatus. I had 5 specialized units commanded by 5 COs, and in very in 4-5 different corners of J&K. I had to visit them, I had to interact with them, motivate them for their jobs, because this is a very, very tedious job. These units also had their elements deployed at various places, sometimes in very remote places, to be able to listen to the technical or radio inputs and all that. So it was a very, very interesting job. I had to learn all these things, at the same time understand the psychology of the adversary. Adversary could be the adversary across, or within also the terrorist infrastructure, what they used to do, how they used to talk, what language they used, what are the codes they were using. I learned very fast. Of course, there were people who were providing me all the inputs. But even more important is, when the initial learning, at the end of that, when the operations were going on, I realized that even more importance is how speedily can you disseminate what you have acquired and analyzed
Okay.
to the troops who are operating on ground, because that what will lead to success.
Yes.
So this is a cycle, intelligence cycle. So action by the troops can only take place if the dissemination is timely and very accurate.
Yes.
That's where I focused on, and that's where I got my success. I means I will not take the credit for myself. It was the entire organization of the northern zone, as we call, that we were able to produce results. It was not only that I got the commendation card, for but my 3 units under me at the same time also got their own unit citations, unit commendation cards
Okay.
simultaneously in the
Wonderful.
same year. So that was a great achievement for me. And firstly, I was very committed. I enjoyed my job there. So if you're enjoying your job and you're committed and it's a challenge, I think you will get the results.
Yes. And I think the part about the timely analysis,
Yes.
that is very important, and especially when you're in a
Timely
leadership
analysis
role.
and accurate dissemination.
Yes.
Dissemination to the right people. You know, I was very lucky at that time also in some ways that when I was in this chair, many of my batchmates right from ND or very close friends, they were either the sector commanders or they were heading the forces, various level forces in that area. So I was on one-to-one communication with them. That always helped.
Yes.
In any organization, you know, any field, if you have a personal rapport with somebody whom you have to interact with or you are working together,
Right.
you are well networked,
Yes.
it always helps. It's a big force multiplier, and that's what happened there.
Building those relationships.
So we had already had that connect with,
Yes.
with each other.
Yeah.
So I just built on that and exploited it in the right manner.
Yes. Sir, you've been at the forefront of modernizing communication and pioneering e-learning in the Indian Army. So how do you view the role of digital transformation in today's world?
Okay, again a very interesting question. Before I go to today's world, let me also remind you that it's been 8 years since I've retired from the army.
Okay.
So I really don't know what exactly is happening in the back end today. But what I did and what we started, I can always make an attempt. So I wouldn't say I was pioneering something, but we did some pilot projects when I was in MCT or even before that, where we tried to get a lot of our learning, a lot of learning material onto the learning management systems there in the MCT. We're also trying to develop a project in which we can provide a remote learning infrastructure in a secure manner. You see, LMS or remote learning is a very common thing.
Yes.
Even those days, I'm talking about 15 years back also.
Yes.
But in the army environment, it has to be absolutely secure.
Yes.
Nothing can leak out. Because whatever you are being taught, especially related to operations, to the procedures, the protocols, you don't want the enemy to know about that.
Confidentiality.
The confidentiality is very important. And as you know, the army network itself is completely
separate from
secure,
the civilian network. Yes.
We have our own what we call the air gap network. So how do you operate in that environment and with the cyber security policies that have been in vogue? Because they're very strict about all these things. So there's a very innovative project we wanted to do. Also develop a secure browser where all these LMS can be implemented. So we are working there in MCT in that with some students, with some even some of the private company also. There was IIT Indore also, we had some interaction. So that's some pilot projects we were doing at that time. So I got a very good experience or exposure to that environment also. It seems now very, very simple because e-learning is very common nowadays.
Yes.
But I am talking about 15 years back when things were not so well designed, even the clouds were not available.
Yes.
And you could not use the clouds because they were not secure.
And there's exactly. So an LMS for us versus the one for the army.
So that now of course after that a lot of things have gone ahead. Every organization, their training institution have their own LMS. They have built the training material on the cloud. Sometimes they have built it in the secure CDs also. So those pilots have helped the armed forces to move ahead and develop this thing. So that was one part. Second part is the digitization, as you said. Digitization, a lot was happening even then. So there were various projects taking place where all the procurement, all the say equipment management would be digitized.
Okay.
So those projects were there for the last 25 years. Those were going on. So we also tried to implement at our level some projects related to office automation. So paperless office. So in my particular department, we had a complete paperless office for 1.5 years.
Okay.
And my commandant was very appreciative of that. While the whole college was not yet ready, because that requires, again, it has to be secure. You cannot involve any cloud infrastructure outside.
Yes.
You have to develop it on own server. So you have to develop that infrastructure first. So it was a very interesting job, and I consider that again a great learning experience. And I was very happy that I was able to implement that in MCT.
Post Operation Sindoor, sir, there's been a lot of interest in Make in India defense technology. So, how do you see our defense tech taking off in the global space?
Oh, that's a very, very, I would say, very important question. Everybody is asking about this.
Yes.
Now it is not post operation of Sindoor. You must realize that defense technology till about 2015-14, we were mostly importers.
Yes, reliant
and
on
when
others.
I was that time I was serving. So most of the times what we used to look at is who's providing us the hardware in the best, I would say at the best cost
Prices, yeah.
and which would meet our requirements. And Indian industry or Indian R&D, of course DRDO was there, the ordnance factories were there. They could never produce high-tech, high-quality items. I mean, items as simple as your uniforms or your kits that the Jawans required. They were also not being produced of that quality.
Okay.
But things have changed over a period of time, especially after 2016 when a lot of policy changes took place by the government. They opened up the defense sector for the civilian private companies. Started competing, the private companies started competing with public sector companies. Then DRDO also were given a lot of I would say motivation to develop high-tech things. And what it has culminated is what you now see in of Sindoor.
Yes.
And I was also extremely pleasantly surprised because the way our air defense system it performed was absolutely outstanding. The Akash Tir, which has been developed by DRDO, it's an integration of all the systems, whether it is S-400, Akash missile system, or the low-level systems. So it's a nice integration, which is based on artificial intelligence, which is developed completely indigenously by DRDO. Now, that required years of inputs, years of R&D,
toiling at it,
and integration with the users. I remember in my younger days, you could hardly have, I mean, you knew things are coming from DRDO, but there was not much of interface and integration with the user level. That seems to have changed.
Yes.
As I can see, what has happened is something very, very heartwarming. It's very heartening.
Yes.
But the efforts have been there for many years.
More than a decade.
No, even more than that.
Okay.
Not more than last 35 years. There have been some efforts in. Then along with that, integration in other establishments like ISRO, other R&D this thing.
Yeah.
So there, they started talking to each other. There was integration, and that has borne fruits. I think to where we are. I won't say that we have now really become good, but you can see now the results are seen.
Yes.
Of all that effort.
And I think that will give us an advantage in the global.
Yeah. So why is Atmanirbharta or Make in India so important today? And why weren't we aware of? Because earlier we were dependent on one power, right? Whether it is Russia or USSR earlier. Okay, वो दे रहे हैं, हम ले रहे हैं, उसको इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं. All we have to do is train well on that, or get the kits and assemble them here, and we were happy. But the change geopolitical scenario in the world and the change position of India demanded that army, because now we are considered to be a very important country, a country which is 4th largest GDP, which is a growing power, growing regional power, where as you grow, you will have more adversaries, more enemies. Like China is not going to be happy with our progress. US also will be very,
try to slow it down.
Everybody will try to slow you down because after all, when you grow, somebody
has to
somebody has to drop. And of course, Pakistan was always inimical to our progress. So now, with our position in the geopolitics or the entire world order, it is very important that we start manufacturing our things.
Yes.
Doing R&D in our own armaments. And that you can see the fruits now. And that realization has come. Yes. The government has taken a lot of steps. First was the 2016 when they opened up the defense production for private companies. Then they started making those in I think 2020 onward or 19 onwards. Those list of items which should not be imported
from outside. Yes. Yeah.
So those bans were, so you had to forcefully go for the Indian import, Indian components. So there are many such schemes of the government. And then government started putting funds in R&D also.
Yes.
Whether the IDEX schemes or there are other schemes of DRDO in which they were ready to provide academic institutions, industry, some funds to do focused innovations and R&D. A lot has happened in the drone sector. As you see, there are I think more than 110 startups today. Well-known startups who are now providing some technology, drone-related technology or anti-drone technology to the defense forces.
Right.
So we have come a long way now.
Yes.
And of course, there are many other fields where we need to move forward because now it's a competition between the top technical powers.
Yes.
And nobody is going to share any high tech with you.
No.
Now let us count some of the fields which we need a total focus. First field which I had some exposure was cybersecurity and related fields. So cybersecurity, both from point of view defending your own cyberspace.
Yes.
With not only of the defense forces but the entire nation,
our
whole of nation approach.
Systems,
it has to be whole of nation approach.
Yes.
Because a cyber war is not fought against the defense forces. It is fought against a nation. They will try and attack your banking services. They will try to attack your electricity, energy,
our
anything.
Aadhaar card systems.
Anything. Yeah. So whatever the cyber warriors candidates. So you have to develop expertise. You have to develop a kind of a defensive shield.
Yes.
And that has to be done indigenously because nobody is going to help you. And if they help you, there will be a backdoor to that country.
Yes.
That is one area. Artificial intelligence now is being employed in every field, including cybersecurity. So, artificial intelligence, of course, fortunately, we have a good technical manpower, one of the best technical manpower in the world. The engineering students, and most of them now getting into these fields of AI, ML, and etc. And learning
they're exploring
tricks of
it
that.
a lot more. Yeah.
So we have the required manpower now. How the startups and the new industry addresses the issues and how these issues are I would say come to the fruiting of that, fruition of that, and deployed on ground is what we need to see.
Yes.
But what is heartwarming is what we see today has been a story of success.
It's a positive outlook for us as a nation.
There is another field which is again linked with cybersecurity and AI is quantum computing.
Yes.
Because with quantum computing, there are only 3-4 countries in the world who are leading this technology race. They are still at the I would say starting phase. If once quantum technologies start getting implemented, your cybersecurity framework will change.
Yes.
Because whatever you call it today secure will not be secure tomorrow.
Yes.
You will require a completely different set of algorithms, set of frameworks, set of hardware. Also, your computing will become that much more fast, which again will change your
affect everything.
The AI will get into another level.
Yeah, it's going to be a chain effect.
Absolute chain effect. So this is another technology. Then there are various other defense technologies. We saw about drones, loiter ammunition, anti-drone systems, space technology. Space warfare is going to come up in a big way. So I think few days back only there was a news that we are now planning to launch some defense satellites, some 50 odd defense satellites in space.
Yes.
That is again related to the space is again becoming a new domain where the top powers are going to contest.
Yes.
So it's becoming more and more complex. And not to forget again, information warfare.
Yes.
So that is the
So
area of
information and misinformation as
yeah.
well.
So that's all part of
Yeah.
information war, where there is a perception management, where they have to handle deep fakes,
Yes.
misinformation, disinformation, and you saw that in Operation Dur.
100%.
That's where, I mean, somebody who is a victor was shown to be a
Yeah.
not so much of a victor,
Yeah.
and somebody who had lost badly, they were trying to pom using the
And
information,
lost every single
misinformation.
time.
Yeah. So that happens.
Yes.
So now that also is gone to a different level, again because of the developments in social media and reach of digital infrastructure. So I think very exciting times in future, and Atmanirbharta and Make in India is the
key to it. Yeah.
if you want to become
Major defense
major
tech
power,
player. Yeah.
a major power, and want to defend their country.
Sir, I had the privilege of visiting you when you were the director at AIT Pune.
Yes.
And one of the most important things that happened during your tenure was the infrastructure growth, the innovation, and stellar placement records. As you were on this role and in this journey, why do you think newer technical institutions should embrace more of innovation, the startup culture, and inspire their students, encourage them in this field?
Okay, this could be a long answer.
Please, sir.
So first of all, my 8 years in AIT was again a great journey. As you rightly said, there was we doubled the intake, nearly doubled the intake. So along with it, we had to develop better infrastructure, better labs, hostels, etc. There was a lot of focus on placements, which was always there earlier also. But I can proudly say that we are in the top 2 or 3 in Pune in placements at the undergraduate level. And our average salary of AIT when the last year was probably better than even the College of Engineering Pune.
Okay.
Or maybe the same. These are of course facts and figures. I mean precise, nobody knows about what is happening.
Yes.
But whatever inputs I had. And very correctly brought out that I laid a lot of emphasis on the innovation and entrepreneurial teachings.
Yes.
It's not that it was my idea. It is something which is happening in the ecosystem in India. Maybe a little bit late, but it's happening. Let me take you back. Which is the technical superpower of the world?
I think it should be Japan, ideally.
Today, technical superpower, of course, Japan is there.
Yes.
Japan is a little smaller, but the US, educational technical superpower.
Yes.
And which are the top companies of US today?
I think Microsoft, Amazon, Google,
Amazon.
Apple.
40 years back, 30 years back, what were they? They were startups.
Yeah.
They were startups established by very young entrepreneurs. Okay, very young entrepreneurs. And who were probably just out of college, or like Steve Jobs was a dropout from the college.
Yes.
So that gives an indication that the today's development technical can only take place through startups. It's a knowledge society. It's an innovation society. Okay. So 21st century is about knowledge and innovation. So any country, any establishment, any organization which want to go, strive for the apex in this field, you have to be innovative. And you mentioned Japan. Japan, whenever they grew again through innovation, Korea, China even today, Israel, they are known to be highly innovative nations. In the last 10-15 years, India is also focusing. The Ministry of Education, earlier used to be called Ministry of Human Resources, has put a lot of weight behind this effort. So they have started the concept of Startup India amongst all the universities and colleges. The AICT has implemented this in engineering colleges. So there are a lot of initiatives, there are hackathons, there are prizes, and they are providing some funds and mechanisms for the startups to grow in the college environment. And you can see the fruits today. You can see a lot of IITs, and not only in the new colleges, a lot of IITs are having a good startup ecosystem. I think you go to the bigger IITs like Madras or Delhi and Mumbai, you'll have at least 100 startups, working co-working in those IITs.
They have
and
perfect incubation
incubation
centers.
cells, incubation centers, incubated by the IITs. And many of them today are becoming unicorns.
Big companies.
Unicorns. So India is now in top 3 of the startup this thing in the world.
Yes.
Number of startup companies or number of unicorns also. And is the fastest growing startup ecosystem in the world today.
Yes.
So you had to adopt. You had to adapt, because earlier the thought process of an engineering student was that you learn about the fundamentals of engineering, whether it is mechanical, computers, you learn coding, mechanical, you learn all those theorems, and you strive for a good job, look for a good company, good salary, stable life. I mean, that era is gone now. The future of jobs is also going to be different. It's going to be a gig economy.
Yes.
Jobs are not going to be permanent. Even the knowledge is not permanent. It is going to be changing so fast.
It's transforming constantly.
Transforming fast. And the traditional jobs, last 20 years, what people were very comfortable with, like coding, that is going to go. The AI is going to take up the jobs of coding. So again, you have to get back to innovative development, innovation and entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Same thing in other fields also. Robots are taking over all the jobs which the engineers were doing or the workers were doing. So you had to change your thinking process and innovation culture also.
Yes. And how to harness this technology for yourself.
Yeah. So that's what needs to be taught in the colleges. So I am of a strong opinion that the entire college syllabi and the college way of engineering education needs to be turned on its head.
Yeah.
So it has to be turned on its head. Start making students participate in competitions, making projects right from day one. Right from day one. That's what I tried to bring that culture in AIT.
Yes.
Within the limits of the syllabi, within the limits of, after all, students have their aspirations cut out. The parents expect them to get good marks and good placements.
Yes.
But we tried to incorporate some culture of innovation, startups, entrepreneurship. And I'm very proud to say that AIT as a college, for the size, it's not a very big college, but amongst the alumni of AIT, there are at least 100 startups which we have now today.
Okay. That's a really big number.
That's a big number.
Yes.
Small size, big size, not very big
and
size.
And AIT is not a very historic college either.
And it was still now, and it didn't have a post-graduation this thing also, course also till very recently. So only the undergraduates. Some of them went to their jobs and then came out and started their entrepreneurial journey. So we have the generation that is coming up today. They are very, very adapt to startup culture. They are innovative.
Yeah.
What we need is to provide them the right guidance and right inspiration for that.
Right.
I think that's what I tried. It had just started, the journey has just started, because it takes time to build up this ecosystem. And I think my successors and all will take them through.
Yes.
And I would also like to do something in this field wherever I am now.
I think you've built a very, very solid foundation.
So that was the idea.
Yeah.
And of course, one thing I would like to say here through your medium, that the young engineers who are passing out, don't look at jobs now. You have to look at being a job provider, not a job seeker. Because even if you need not always launch a startup, you work in a startup, you will get trained into that kind of an ecosystem environment.
Yes.
You will be more innovative, a better problem solver, and that's what everybody is looking for. So your career growth will depend on this quality of yours.
Innovation and problem solving.
Yeah.
Sir, you've had a very remarkable distinction. You've served the nation, and through your work at AIT or even the MCT, you've served the next generation as well. Today, what does the word service mean to you?
Oh, very interesting question. See, anybody who is working in any field is serving the nation in their own capacity. So it is something a very philosophical question. So if you look at Indian philosophy, Gita's philosophy, what they say is whatever job you are supposed to do it with full commitment, without looking at the final outcome for your own benefit.
Yes.
So if that you keep in mind, you are doing service to the nation. So today, suppose you are running a startup. Do whatever you do in the best interest of the nation and best capacity. So remember, interest of the nation, quality of your work, and larger good. If you qualify or satisfy these few conditions, I think you are doing a service to the nation. So it's like in Ramayana, the squirrel. She had some role to play in building the bridge between India and Lanka, Bharat and Lanka. So that was also service. And
it's a contribution.
Prabhu Ram again, acknowledged that also.
Yes.
So that's everybody is doing service to the nation. We were fortunate to be in the armed forces, got selected for it. So that service was a little different, tougher environment, a little more risk involved, risk of life involved. Our families had to, bear with the difficulties of service, getting shifted every 3-4 years, 2 years. But I think it had its own charm, it had its own challenges, and I think I'm very happy, very satisfied at what I did, and even thereafter 8 years with the AIT again, because of my service in the army, I got that opportunity. That's all I can say.
You spoke about a lot about contribution right now. You even spoke about the Ramayana and what we in Marathi call Kharija Vata. So in an army career, I think sir, families also play a very important role, and especially when you are deployed in combat zones or conflict areas. Would you like to shed some light on that aspect?
I think it's a very, very important question. Yeah, it's so for an army officer, his partner, his wife, or spouse, I would say, because there are a lot of ladies also, is an important facet. It's a great support system. And why it is very important? Because many a times that partner who's not in the army has to single-handedly handle all the family matters. And not only family matters, even the matters related to the unit which you are serving in. And for that, if you read, there are a lot of stories about it. Army had their own organizations for that. There is Army Welfare Wives Organization. There is a contribution by Army wives in each station, each military cantonment. They have their own organization, they have their own contributions. So they also form part of the broader Army family. Or I would say same is with Navy and Air Force also.
Yes.
And how they are important, like we all know that when there are operations, whether it is CI operations or war-like situations or this thing, a lot of things the families don't know or they're not supposed to know. And they always have a fear, what is going to happen to the head of the family. At the same time, they have to look after bringing up their children, they have to look after bringing up their even sometimes taking care of the the elders. That's what I was going to say. So they have a major leadership role in that. I would give an example about my own experience. So when we were deployed for Operation Parakram, as you know, Operation Parakram was when the Parliament attack took place in 2001, and we got. I was a commanding officer, and we were deployed for launching an operation. It didn't happen later because of various other factors. We could have started a war at that time. And so back at the cantonments, everybody was in the front. The Jawans, officers, everyone. So families were confused, they were not getting news. It requires support. It requires sometimes medical emergencies are there. The children required support in their education. So my wife was CO's wife, and she would have a regular monitoring of these aspects. Sometimes Jawan's wife was very ill, or the family is ill, or the child is. So she should ensure that the proper medical, attendance is provided to them, or the transport is provided.
And morale
is kept. She should keep talking to them. And this is a culture that is in the army. So their role is not limited to their own family, it is limited to the entire larger family of the army.
Everybody is extended.
In whichever role they are in. So that is the importance of the army families. And I salute all the families, army wives, I mean, the whole nation should salute.
Yes.
Because their role is at the background, behind the curtain, but as importance at the soldier in the front.
Sir, I think this was very enlightening, especially for us when we look at it from the outside. And I'm sure a lot of people must have gained that respect that you just spoke about. That this is the kind of work that is being done behind the scenes. On a lighter note, sir, I'd like to ask you that there are a lot of movies made on the army.
Yes.
Which ones are your favorite?
Three of them, I would say, and I loved watching them. The recent one was Sher Shah, which is on the story about
Vikram
Vikram
Batra.
Batra,
Yes.
this thing. There's the movie Laksh. Laksh, I think, is one of big favorites.
Yes.
Because it shows a transition of a
Cadet
boy
yeah.
who didn't seem to have any motivation, and then became a very, very strong personality, got commissioned in the army.
Yes.
I think I related to it a lot.
Oh.
A lot, because my days before India, I was somewhat like that. Then there is another movie called Vijeta. It's a movie about an Air Force pilot. The entire training period, right from India onwards, is shown in that movie.
Okay.
For that, it was shot in NDA and Air Force Academy. It's a very, very realistic movie. And there, this family culture, the family entanglements, all these things were brought out very well in that movie.
I think you've given us a new movie to go and watch.
It's an old movie.
Yeah.
It's probably, I think, shot in 1983 or something. At the time,
because it seems
81,
very
81,
authentic.
I think 81 it was shot, and released a year later. I think that Rekha is in that movie. I think the role is done by Kunal Kapoor is the hero in the movie, the son of Shashi Kapoor. He didn't do many movies thereafter. Very interesting movie.
Oh.
We must see that.
I think yes, definitely. Even for our audience, this is these are Sir's top 3 recommendations. So I'd like you to let us know in the comments as well that how many have you already seen, and like me, if Vijeta is now on your must-watch list.
Must watch that.
Yeah. So it has been an immense honor for all of us at Devakey Diaries to have you on the podcast. And we're so grateful. This episode will come out on the Independence Day, so it'll have a much more special feeling for everybody viewing it as well. Thank you for making the time to be here today. It's one of our biggest privileges to have you here.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I also enjoyed this podcast, this interview, and I hope more and more youngsters get inspired in the kind of journey that we have gone through. And all the best to Devakey Diaries. May you become more and more viral. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just a small token of our appreciation.
So nice of you.
Yeah.